everyone. My name is Gabrielle Lasoya, and I'm doing a project on Coca-Cola. For starters, why I chose Coca-Cola. I chose Coca-Cola for a number of reasons. Number one being I worked at Giant Eagle part-time, and Coca-Cola workers are always in Giant Eagle restocking and moving things around, and they're in there about 2 or 3 times out of a week, and so I see them a lot, and I would conversate with them and ask them things like if they like their job, like how long they worked or stuff like that, if they got paid in mileage, just like random things that would come up in conversations as we were both working, and I wanted to know more about that. And another reason is because Coke is displayed everywhere. It's in vending machines, gas stations, bodegas, grocery stores, pretty much anywhere, and for it to be everywhere all across the world, it has to have a solid foundation because it is such a big company, and so I wanted to learn more about that as well. Alright, so for some summary facts, going back a little bit, Coca-Cola has been around since 1876, and it was actually invented by a pharmacist, which I thought was interesting because usually pharmacists are telling you, you stay away from Coca-Cola, stay away from like pop, candy, soda, all that kind of stuff. But this pharmacist actually invented Coca-Cola. At first it was just a syrup, and this syrup consisted of some ingredients that were actually not harmful for the body. They were one of the better ingredients that you could use for a pop, and not a lot of sodas actually use the same ingredients as Coca-Cola, so that's an interesting fact there. So he would go up and down the street in front of the pharmacy and basically let people taste the syrup because it wasn't fully Coca-Cola yet until it was paired with carbonated water later on. But and then he started selling glasses of it for 5 cents because there was no cans or anything like that. It was just glass cups of this, or later on the glass bottles, and they were sold in like the little 6-packs, and they were much cheaper back then than they are now. I think a 12-pack of Coke now is about $5 or $6, I believe, unless you can get it on sale somewhere. So prices have definitely changed. And another little history fact for you would be that the Coca-Cola name is actually invented by the ingredients that are in Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola should technically be Coca and then Cola with a K instead of a C like it is now, but the pharmacist bookkeeper thought that it would be more flowy, more beneficial, and like eye-catching to people if it was just 2 C's, so that's the reason why it's Coca-Cola with 2 C's rather than Coca and then Cola with a K. Some Coca-Cola products for you. At first I was like shocked at how many products there were, only because like when you go to a restaurant and a server says like, oh, we carry Pepsi or Coca-Cola. Well, I thought that just meant like they either had Pepsi or they had Coke. I didn't like even think about the fact that it was meaning like all these products we have from Coke and all these products we have from Pepsi. I guess I just never put 2 together. So for starters, we have Orange Fanta, Sprite, Minute Maid, Powerade, Fuse Tea, Della Bella, Dasani, PST, Schweppes, Cherry Coke, Cherry Vanilla, Smart Water, and then recently we came out with this Coke Coffee here. I have not tried it yet, but heard good things on it. Coca-Cola, and this is just like a couple of the thousands that they actually have. It is a huge brand, and I did not realize that, only because I was only looking for things at first that like, this is Coca-Cola, but in reality they do a lot of products that are considered Coca-Cola products. So Coca-Cola's mission statement, it is to refresh the world in mind, body, and spirit, to inspire moments of optimism and happiness through our brands and actions, to create values and make a difference. So I broke this down into 3 little sections, only because it was more understandable for me, and actually on the Coca-Cola website it does this as well, which was really beneficial. So for number 1, we have improving lives. They're planning to do this because, like I said, their ingredients in their pop is not harmful for the body. It's not one of like the sugariest things you could drink. And this is with all their products. They really go above and beyond to make sure that what you are putting in your body, if it is somewhat sugary or not as healthy as a bottle of water for you, that they're not using harmful products to your body. So by doing that, they're valuing health more than the profit, because the profit, it's much cheaper to just put a bunch of sugar in a soda and call it delicious. But they're going above and beyond and using different sweeteners, different things that are not as harmful for you. And then another one is improving communities. So they're doing this in a lot of ways. They are, number one, doing it because of their outreach programs. You're not really, you don't hear about Coca-Cola being some company that sponsors all these things and is giving back to all these people, but they really do. And I didn't know about any of it until I started doing research, but they have tons of outreach programs for kids, tons of scholarship opportunities. They're always giving back. They're always fundraising for different communities, and I thought that was very sweet. Another thing is exceeding expectations. They're doing this to the numerous opportunities it gives people to improve their lives. This is because, again, back to number one, valuing your health. Two, because of outreaching programs and fundraising things, they're really taking care of you, and all the job opportunities that you can have at Coca-Cola. There's so many different ones you can have, and you're very well taken care of when you work for Coca-Cola. So some 5 interesting facts. Like I said, Coca-Cola is a huge company and has tons of products. And to give you an exact range of number here, Coca-Cola has a product portfolio of more than 3,500 beverages, which is nuts. The original creator of Coca-Cola does not own it anymore. So what I mean by that is, and this wasn't because he passed away or anything, this was because he didn't realize how big Coca-Cola was actually gonna get at first. So as soon as he got a little taste of the money, he started selling shares little by little, and then once it got a little higher in price, he sold his last one right before he passed away, and he had no idea it was going to get this big. So he was just, as soon as he got a taste of the money, he started giving the shares away to get money, and I don't think he knew how big Coca-Cola was going to blow up. Next would be Coca-Cola should technically be Coca-Cola with a K, and I had already said that, but I thought it was interesting to put it on here. So it should be right here with the K instead of 2 C's like we see now, because cola is actually an ingredient in Coca-Cola. And then Coke was originally 5 cents a glass, and Coca-Cola is now the 84th largest economy in the world. All right, so 5 least interesting facts. They weren't really least interesting to me. They were just, I guess, not as interesting as the other ones. So Coca-Cola invented the term six-pack, not beer. I thought that was really interesting because every time you hear about a six-pack or anyone referring to a six-pack, you never think about a six-pack of Coca-Cola. You always think of beer, and Coca-Cola actually invented that. And if you think about it, it makes sense because back then there were 6 glass bottles in the little six-pack carrier, and that's how the six-pack term came. And then the logo is red because of old tax laws. So back in 1876, there was tax laws that only allowed them to have certain colors, and the Coca-Cola label is red. And Coca-Cola was invented by a pharmacist. Coca-Cola is now 132 years old. That is pretty old to be around, and their products have just continued to grow. And lastly, Coca-Cola tastes better at 3 degrees Celsius. I have not tried that, but apparently the ingredients and things in it taste best when they're at 3 degrees Celsius. Okay, so my overall impression. I think it's a really good company to work for. Coca-Cola actually has a very lengthy hiring process, which I think there's lots of pros and cons to that, because pros, only the best of the best are actually gonna sit down, take the time, and go through all of the steps, and that means you're only getting those people that are dedicated and wanting to 110% be a part of the Coca-Cola team. And a con to that would be, I guess, it's hard to get people in because of the process is so lengthy, but again, I think it's more beneficial than not. And then another thing would be that there's great benefits for the employees. They are very well taken care of. You receive health, dental, all those kinds of insurances for you and your family if you're married. And the pay rates are exceptional, even just to start out as like a driver. You can make at least 18 starting out as a Coca-Cola driver, which is pretty good an hour, especially for not having like a high school diploma or anything. You have to have a GED or a high school diploma, but you don't have to have a like college degree or anything. And then this is a company that will just continue to grow. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. It's 132 years old and it just continues to get bigger, bigger and better. And I think that's awesome. So you're definitely a company that's going to be around. During COVID, there weren't jobs being lost because Coke still needed to get into grocery stores. Coke still needed to get into vending machines. Coke was still needing to get into all these stores and stuff for people to buy. So it wasn't something that like people lost a bunch of jobs from, because we still needed factory workers to work it. We still needed people to distribute it. We still needed people to restock, refill. So it wasn't a job that you was considered not essential. This was essential. And so lastly, they have a solid foundation. That goes back to the COVID thing. What really like shocked me was that like whenever COVID hit, so many people lost their jobs and were not considered essential. And personally, I want to work for one of those companies that are considered essential and will not stop when there is something like this happening. So I thought that was very beneficial. And lastly, the question is, would I work for Coca-Cola? Yes, it's not something that obviously I'm going to school for or anything, but it was definitely something that I would enjoy as a part-time person, restocking, refilling, or even driving. I think it would be very beneficial to be a part of that team. Thank you. Any questions?